My name is Jacqueline Clark, and I'm from the Gifft School on St. John, U.S. Virgin Islands.
My name is Keon Lewis from the Gifft School, live on St. John, United States Virgin Islands.
My name is Anjali Glenn. I go to Gifft School on St. John, USVI.
My name is Jackson Berry. I go to Gifft School on St. John in the U.S. Virgin Islands.
I'm Alex Ray, Gifft School, St. John, U.S. Virgin Islands.
My name is Luca Delomo. I go to the Gifft School in the U.S. Virgin Islands.
My name is Savannah Morissette. I'm from Gifft School in the U.S. Virgin Islands.
I'm John Spinelli from Gifft School on St. John, USVI.
Good day, I am Makita Dawson. I attend the Gifft School in St. John. This is my card.
Good morning, my name is Jim Willen. I'm a math and science teacher here at the Gifft School. The Gifft School is a K-12 school in the U.S. Virgin Islands. In case you don't know where we are, we're this speck right down here. We're about 100 kilometers east of Puerto Rico. There's Puerto Rico, Haiti, and Cuba. And this is our school. Right now, we're in this corner room. We're in a large hangar just because we need this for hurricane preparedness. So, as we speak, we're right in this room. I'm going to be discussing two aspects of our Monaco mousetrap contest. The original aspect is to design a car that will traverse 10 meters in the shortest distance. I'll be presenting some data that the students have come up with, and after the data, I'll be discussing some pointers that the kids are going to use to design their car. At the very end, I have 3 models of mousetrap cars that the kids have used, but not yet tested. Testing is this afternoon. The first thing we did was I had the kids make up a lever arm test. This is wooden dowels. These are DVDs. The mousetrap here is movable. It's only fixed by rubber bands. So what we're going to do is we're going to lay out the 10-meter track. We're going to move this mousetrap in various positions to get different values of the lever arm. And we're going to see which lever arm allows the mousetrap to move the quickest in 10 meters. And this is the data the kids have come up with. The lever arm initially was set at 54 centimeters. This is way too long. At the end of the 10-meter trial, the lever arm had only deployed half the available radius. So we took a much shorter lever arm, and the optimal values are around 10 to 12 centimeters. So the kids have all come up with mousetrap cars based on lever arms of around 10 to 12 centimeters. The other thing that the kids had to do was analyze friction. There are 2 major types of friction to deal with. The friction for traction is great because what you need is you need to have the rear tires in contact with the floor as long as possible. Since friction does remove energy, you need to minimize 2 major sources of friction. The first is the axle friction. This is caused by the rotating axle against either a bearing, a wooden surface, or a bushing. The other friction is the body friction as it goes through air. So all the kids have sanded their mousetrap cars to make them more aerodynamically efficient. What the kids did for their friction test is they used several different models to see which model would work the best, which had the lowest coefficient of friction. They used a plastic bushing. They used some micro bearings that we got from Japan, and we've also used some metal bushings. So what we've done is we have a wooden axle. Now the wooden axle has been very, very finely sanded using 3000 grit sandpaper. So this axle feels pretty much like glass. This is the dowel from our test setup. We've glued a metal bushing, a plastic bushing, and we've glued micro bearings in this position here, and we've put the wooden axle through it. This is a DVD we've used for the wheels. This is a rubber band in this case. We've also used balloons for traction. This is a differential gear, which I'll discuss later. This gear helps reduce the torque when the rear axle needs to start. So what the kids have done, they've placed their mousetrap car on one of the black epoxy tables here. We have a pulley and we have a mass. And all we're doing is we're measuring the mass of the mousetrap car and the mass of the weight that just barely causes the mousetrap car to move. To compute the coefficient of friction, we're dividing the small mass, the amount of mass that took to just barely move the car, divided by the mass of the car itself, and that gives you mu. So what we did was, we've done several test cases for each of the bearings, for each of the cars, and see which worked the best. This is a representative example. The plastic bearing, the micro bearing, and the metal, the polished aluminum. As you can see, there was very, very little difference. There's probably a minute difference, but because of measurement error and the accuracy of our scales, this is the level of accuracy that we're going to record. And the coefficient of friction is all very, very small for each of these, 0.004. So what this tells us is, I've told the kids that yes, it's very nice to have micro bearings, but since we have a large supply of the metal bushings, we can just use those, polish those, and those will be your axle bushings. Now we need to analyze what do we need to do with the overall basic design of the car to make it go quicker. So we have potential energy of the spring, and it's going to go into the kinetic energy of the car. The first term there, that's 1/2 mv squared, that is translational motion. The 1/2 I omega squared term is the energy used for each tire. That's why we have the 4 here. So here's our equation. This is a given. So you want to look at this aspect and this aspect to make the car go quicker. What you want to do is minimize mass. And that's what we're going to do here. We're going to minimize all weight in the construction of our car. So if possible, we're going to use balsa wood. Also, when we glue things, we want to use a very light, quick-acting glue. So we're going to use super glue. To minimize the mass of the string, we're going to use Kevlar. So the designs that the kids are doing, they've all incorporated these 3 ideas somehow into their car. The next thing you're going to do is look at the rotational inertia. That's this term here, the I term. What you want to do there is you want to use a differential gear if possible. This was left as an option so the kids can test various differential gears to see how easy the car would start using the mousetrap. What we've done for the axles is we've used either a 3/16 wooden axle, which can be polished using 2000 grit sandpaper, or we have a 1/8 inch steel axle, which we've gotten some from some other toy cars. Now I've alluded to differential gearing. What you want to do is you want to minimize the rotational inertia of the car just starting out. So we've tried 3 different examples. Some of the students have just used tape, a blue tape or masking tape, to increase the diameter about the axle. So the Kevlar has a small loop at the end. It's fastened around in the inlaid toothpick. It's wrapped around initially, and it's wrapped and wrapped and wrapped until the final 2 turns are around the tape. This makes the wheel easier to start to spin. So we have this version here. This version here, we beveled the center. So again, we started here. We've used the tape to initially start the axle turn, but since this is beveled, this will have a faster rotation speed toward the end. The beveled cork is cut this way. This wide part here allows the axle to turn easy. As it goes down here, the rotational inertia is going to increase, that's true, but it's going to gain in speed. So this is a gradual change in speed. These are quite abrupt. So the kids are all experimenting with each of these 3 axles for the drive shaft on their mousetrap car. So in summary, what we've done is we've done an initial lever arm test, and we determined for a 10-meter track, you want to use a lever arm of around 11 centimeters. You need friction for traction. So the kids have used 2 different types of sources. They've used either rubber bands or balloons, and they've wrapped those around the DVDs. To minimize the axle friction, they've used metal bushings. To help the car move aerodynamically, they've sanded it off. For construction of the mousetrap car, they're trying to make the mousetrap car as light as possible. They're using balsa wood. They're using super glue to attach the mousetrap car to the various balsa wood components, and they're also using Kevlar string. To reduce the rotational inertia, they're using DVDs as wheels. The DVDs come in two sizes. They come in the regular size and the mini DVDs, so the students have two basic DVD models. Some of the students have also used smaller plastic wheels from other kits. For example, the Pinewood Derby kit that we use for rotational inertia studies has been used for the wheels. The axles have been of two types. One axle is a 3/16 inch wood axle, which has been highly polished using a 3000 grit sandpaper, and the other axle is a 1/8 inch steel axle that's been used again with smaller metal bushings, similarly constructed like the aluminum ones were. Each of these has been demonstrated in our 3 prime examples, so the students have incorporated all of this and come up with 3 basic designs. Well, first off, in behalf of the students and the staff at Gifft Hill School, we do appreciate allowing us to enter your contest. It's been an extraordinary opportunity. I've gotten lots of comments from parents, cousins, aunts and uncles about how to build cars for their kids. The kids are helping out. So it's been a really good family exercise, not only for teaching physics, but just having the families get together and talk about designs and implementation. So thank you very much for allowing us to enter into your contest. It's been a great opportunity and a great educational experience for all of us. Thank you again.